everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back if this is your fifth The Rookie Season 3 episode review. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying safe out there in the world. The crossover event, not really crossover, is over. We're back to normal. It kind of feels like just, it's still The Rookie. Nothing really changed. That crossover event, anywho, getting back to it, it's kind of weird to kind of like scale back a bit. I feel like last week was just so like dramatic and so suspenseful and tense. That was kind of nice to like kind of go back to like some more of the comedic beats in a good way. Because again, the rookie does such a great job like balancing between we have our serious moments and then sometimes we have our, of course, our very fun, hilarious moments. In this case, it was a little bit for me, a little bit of an adjustment because again, it was so dramatically filled in the rookie side of things last week that I kind of like forgot, like, oh yeah, I forgot how the show usually operate. With this episode, it kind of goes back to being a traditional The Rookie episode, filled in with a little bit of twists and turns. I was like, by that time we get to the ending, like the last 5 minutes, I'm just like, damn. And also I'm like, are they really just we're gonna have a tradition of like something similar to this every season? It kind of feels like it, but anywho, I want to talk about it more, so let's go through the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of The Rookie. So we begin, it's another day for Nolan, and, no, I forgot his new rookie's name. No, we were so close. Oh, dear God. Yeah, because she wasn't really in much of last week. I mean, she was, but I think her name is Selena. I'm going to say Selena, I apologize. Again, it's been a busy week. It was my birthday, and then also everything that was going on with the CW side of our reviews. That was a lot for me to worry about, so I completely forgot. I think it's Selena. I want to say it is Selena. So they're processing a person. Selena's obviously once again using her powers of ESP or secondary guessing or however you want to call it into thinking the person they're processing is not who they say there is. Mostly because she said there's absolutely no way this woman is the age that her ID states, and you know, no one's like going for the book and saying like, well, she applied via birth certificate, which is officially official. So you know, the idea is pretty legit. So she is what it is. She's drunk, drugged up. She's on some type of other level. That's all I can guess about it. She starts saying in the camera that's watching her as like a little human being for some reason. And then she starts confessing that, oh, I was adopted and my parents faked my birth certificate. They faked my birthday so that, you know, I could just fill into the, I guess the child they lost, apparently. I'm not entirely sure what the backstory was, but it does confirm that Selena's feelings are pretty much true. And no one's like, you know what? I don't know how to explain it. It's just, this woman is a little scary at times. It's a little scary how accurate she is on certain things. We send back to it. I believe, there's so many plot points this episode. I don't know where do we really begin. Oh yeah, Lopez and Wesley are about to have their, about to have Lopez's mom take care of their child because their nanny's on a vacation. So instead, to save some money, instead of hiring a new temporary nanny for a week, they decide to just bring in her mom to watch her. She's running a little bit late though, but she heads outside and she finds her mom already on the floor, passed out. Meanwhile, Nolan and Bailey it's the first day that Bailey's heading back to work after the whole Rosalind kidnapping thing. Nolan thinks that she would need a little bit more time to recuperate after that traumatic incident, but Bailey says she's good to go and she respects Nolan's decision, but at the end of the day, this is her job, so she's gonna head back to it. And then the little banter starts with how many times Bailey has actually died and came back from the dead, and Nolan's like, wait, what? Like, seriously, Bailey is such a cool human being. Like, she has lived a freaking life before Nolan, and I'm like, damn, this woman cannot be killed. Like, I knew she wasn't gonna die last week. I knew that. Like, there was absolutely no way you're gonna kill off such a badass human being like that. Plus, I really hope they don't, you know, kill her off because she's doing well right now in the world of Hollywood. I want to say, yeah, so she's going to head back to work. I want to say we pick things up with Gray and Bradford had a sergeant's meeting and they had a good breakfast spot. I forgot what the importance of this scene was. There was a reason why we came back to the station for a bit. There wasn't a bullpen meeting, but there was a reason why they were back here. I know the other thing is apparently Bradford got convinced to go on this like weird Whole30 diet, which is apparently there's no bread involved, which I'm like, I could probably do bread for about a month. I could probably do that. Probably won't happen, but I could probably do that. I'm trying to remember what the heck was the main reason why we came back to the station. I completely forgot. Yeah, so we'll come back to this a little bit. Bradford is having some slight back pains, but we'll come back to that in a little bit. I want to say Bailey and her team respond to a they respond to a bleeding victim, and they have him stabilized supposedly. They bring him to the hospital to get him evaluated, but he's still bleeding. So Bailey has to get a brand new Gertie to transport him. Her partner is handling it, just making sure he's fine and everything. However, the guy wakes up suddenly and hits him in the head. I don't know if he kills him or not, but he just knocks him the hell out, and he escapes with one of their jackets. So he heads back in. I forgot there was a scene where Nolan and Celine were on the scene, handling things, and Nolan was using this as an opportunity to kind of just tell her, like, how is the order of operations, like, how do you process this scene, and, like, what's the chain of command here, so more TO stuff that Nolan's trying to do over here. I want to say Bradford and Aaron are on duty. They're helping stop they're helping to stop a crime in progress. And it's an easy arrest. Lucy is around the area for some reason, so she assists in the arrest, but Bradford starts to have a little bit of back pain, which becomes severe back pain to the point where, yeah, he can't walk anymore. He can, he's stumbling on his knees. Like, he gets on the ground and have to take him to the hospital. I believe, yeah, so Lopez is also at the hospital with her mom. Her mom's cleared to go in terms of just, it's not a serious thing. It's just traditional. We're going to do a CAT scan, make sure you're all right. But other than that, the cut that you have on your head is going to require a couple stitches. That's about it. And also this woman apparently is trying to set up her entire, all of her sons with, like, some sort of, like, stable partner, which I'm like, you know what? My only problem with those types of parents is that they're just like, they think their child knows what's going on, but also it's about, are you actually going to find someone who's actually going to be like, yes, obviously I'm going to take this person, and like, sometimes great love stories start out of that. You get introduced by your parents. Not an arranged marriage, but it's just like an introduction. I think it's mostly common in Hispanics, but anyway. Lopez asks the question, what happened to you? How did you get this cut? And she's not really giving much answers. All there is there's a relation with one of her brothers, and, what? Lopez is going to call in almost all of her brothers. Apparently she has 4 brothers, which I want to say she has mentioned before in the past. And I'm like, oh, we're going to see all the brothers? And it's like, okay, no, we're going to see all 3 of the brothers. However, because this is a conflict of interest case, Harper is running point on this while Lopez is acting as her quiet confidant, introducing her to 3 of the Lopez brothers, one being a priest, one being a successful businessman into stocks, and the other one being a recovering drug addict. Whereas the 4th brother, I have no freaking clue. I guess we will save that for a later episode. Honestly, this kind of felt like they were trying to do a backdoor pilot for the Lopez family, which I'm like, yeah, I think it's NBC's doing a Lopez versus Lopez show with George Lopez and her daughter, so I don't think it's the right time to do that, but I'm like, you know what? It'd be a pretty cool idea for the future. I'd be down to see more of the Lopez family. Eventually, once Nolan and Selena arrive on the scene and they figure out, yeah, this is a known killer. He had just committed a murder before he was taken by the fire department. So thankfully he isn't going to escape because he is bleeding heavily. So he is going to be in the hospital looking for some assistance. So they at least know he's in this building. Somehow he got in, but it's going to be a hell to get him out. So they fill in with the security team, making sure they have a system in place to make sure he doesn't get out. They're trying to look for him, trying to narrow down where he could be exactly. Nolan runs into Bradford and the others. Of course, Bradford's like, I'm fine. I'm good to go. I'm here to help. And Jen's like, nope, you are going to see a doctor. You are definitely not okay. And also, again, like, just the weird time, and just this kind of feels like an episode of General Hospital, which one of my friends made a mention of yesterday when I'm recording this. So I'm like, yeah, it's just convenient how things work in the world of TV. I want to say afterwards, yeah, so we begin the Lopez interrogation scene, and it's about to go pretty simple. Harper's going to, like, ask the questions, and Lopez is going to tell in her ear, like, say this, or say that, or use this against them. However, Wesley shows up, of all people, to represent all of his brother-in-law in an attempt for him to impress his family, all of his in-laws. Which I'm like, you know what? It's not a bad way. It isn't at all to try that. But I'm like, you're going to represent all 3 members of a family that you're related of. I'm not really sure if that's also a conflict of interest there, but he's doing it pro bono, so I'm pretty sure they're pretty much legit with it. And again, Lopez just bursts in, like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, well, I'm doing what I gotta do to get your family's approval, because he didn't get it the first time. He did not get it the first time. So it becomes pretty retort, trying to get like a little bit of their personalities. The pastor's like, all with God, trying to just, bless the Lord and everything, has little to no issues in his private or personal life. The former drug addict is almost 2 years sober, but he's had a very rocky history with his substance abuse, and it's the traditional mom where it's like, she gives him multiple chances, to forgive himself and also to give him a chance of redemption, that sort of thing. He's trying to get his actual bachelor's degree right now in accounting to actually do something with his life that isn't just into drugs, which is good, which is kind of good. And the other one just gets a bunch of random text messages from people that he's talking to, and Harper's like, okay, no, we taking that phone away. We withdrawing your cell phone privileges. Eventually, it doesn't really go anywhere. Lopez is like, yeah, it's pretty hard right now. All of them are just acting like how they normally are nowadays, so I don't believe any one of them is guilty. Gray shows up saying that he's about to head over to the hospital to go assist on the perimeter matter with the suspect, with the shooter. Bradford's checked in. Ashley's there, his current girlfriend, and then Chen shows up while she's on her scouting mission to like look around and everything. And again, it's a little bit awkward because Chen and Bradford trying to act like things are normal. It clearly isn't. There's clearly a little bit of tension there. Kind of reminds me of Duncan and Gwen during World Tour, if anyone knows those references. I highly doubt it, but still. The doctor comes in. Apparently, the injury that Bradford has is that when they removed the bullet that shot him back in the first episode of the show. Remember that when Bradford got shot and was taken out of commission for a couple episodes? Yeah, during that episode, they forgot to take out a fragment of the bullet, which I'm like, how do you forget to take a fragment of the bullet out? Apparently, throughout all the many, now the last couple of years of, active duty and such, apparently the bullet has moved absolutely close to the spine. It's causing some pressure on there, so they're going to do some surgery to remove it. It is a little risky, though, but honestly, it's the least invasive surgery for the spinal column, so he should be fine for dinner. So he's going to be okay. So Chen goes back out to her duty. Aaron's in charge of taking care of Lopez's mom, and immediately Lopez's mom is like, if I can help you with one of my nieces, if you help me introduce one of your cousins to one of my sons. And I'm just like, I have no comment. I don't want to say any comments right now. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But Aaron's somewhat in on the idea. So, hey, you're not wrong. Like, there definitely is like a chance here. You find someone like Aaron that's willing to do things with this sort of arrangement. I want to see, Nolan and Celia are looking around. They're trying to find him. They're not really having much luck on it. They run into Bailey, who apparently reveals, like, I don't know how this came up, but Bailey mentions that she died one time when she failed a halo jump, which I'm like, you failed a halo jump and you're still alive? I'm like, Gam, you are a freaking badass. There was absolutely no way you were going to die last week. Howard Nolan looks into one of the medical supply room, then he finds all the bloody clothes that the guy had, meaning that he has switched over to some scrubs. So he's still in the hospital, but it's only a matter of time before he finds an ID so he can escape. Gray shows up to help out with the hunt. However, once he gets out of the elevator, he passes out, which I'm like, no. You can't kill Gray off. I can't. I'm not ready for this moment. I'm not ready. But turns out now he's all good. Apparently he just got food poisoning from the sandwich he ate from the restaurant, and he's like, oh god, I'm dying over here. Lucy goes in to go check in on both of them. However, they break the bad news to her that apparently, since for some reason, through the power of maturity, because Bradford and Gray were the oldest officers in the station, they would be in charge, of course. So if Gray was out, the statue of power goes to Bradford. But Bradford's also out for surgery. So who is the next oldest person to take over? Well, not the oldest person, like the oldest level of maturity to take over the station. Our very own Smithy is now acting sergeant, and even Lucy's like, oh no, we are totally screwed. So she immediately heads back over to the station, and literally Smithy's like, I'm the man in charge. I'm the captain now. Well, not the captain. Like, I'm the sergeant now. I'm taking over. He's basically giving all of his friends early PTO. He's allowing every cop to go home early for a pool party. And I'm like, this is not a freaking casual, like, work environment. This isn't a supermarket or like something like, okay, you know, it is what it is. But like, you are cops. You are supposed to be helping the streets of LA for a very limited time. This is in episode 1. Like, LA is very understaffed with police officers, and they are way bigger out there. Half of the force are in the hospital right now looking for a killer, and y'all are about to leave to go to a pool party? Like, you don't even need Lucy to come in and, like, shake things up. Like, y'all are fucking irresponsible. Like, that's just, like, they were literally ready to, like, check out their weapons and everything, ready to go the fuck home. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I apologize for cursing. Like, I'm just saying, like, Jesus. Y'all don't care about your jobs. Y'all don't really care. Harper shows up for a bit, just tells her, like, you know, hey, look, you've been through a lot. Like, I know, like, you may not be the acting sergeant right now, but you've been through so much shit in the last 2 years that these cops respect you. If you really ask them, they will do what you say. And they do. Lucy kind of gives them a little motivation speech, and they're like, okay, yeah, you know, you're right. We're going to go back on duty, which I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, the flip of a switch, the flip of a switch. Smithy comes in acting so much bravo with like, are you acting sergeant now? And Lucy's like, I guess, yeah. It's like, oh, good. That was so much fucking work. I'm going into the break room. I'm like, how does Smithy have his job still? Like, how? Like, the man has literally done little to no work in the last few weeks. Not the few weeks, the last few years. I don't even know how. He's literally cruising here for retirement. That's all I'm really thinking about right now. Yeah, so I think after that, I think that was it, really. Oh, no, not really. So once Lopez clears everyone and they're just looking for, like, I know the direction, like, to take the investigation in, a bunch of people from the Pastor Lopez's community shows up to say, yeah, he's been sleeping with my wife. And I'm just like, wait, I thought Pastor's going to sleep with anyone. He's like, yeah, I kind of been lacking on my vows lately, so I kind of slept with one of my people's wives, and even Lopez is like, that's like, adultery is not something like, okay, say this on the record again, cheating is not allowed. Well, I don't condone cheating, absolutely not. There's man here who has taken the word of God, who has, like, believed in his faith, literally broke that, he's committed a sin. There we go. Done deal anyway. And he's totally nonchalant about it. It's like, yeah, I made a mistake. I'm sorry about it. I'm pretty sure if the situation arises again, he'll probably do it again. That's like that's just the vibe I'm getting off of him. So without any real leads, Lopez heads back over to the hospital. Regardless of what's going on, she talks to her mother after Aaron just tells her the life story of, like, all of his cousins, and just like, oh yeah, I think your brothers would be a better fit for her because, like, her current relations aren't it. Yeah, so Lopez talks to her, and apparently she's been apparently the reason the whole thing even happened was because she was about to take a ride share, let's just say Uber for the hell of it, and she got attacked by someone, and she hit him with his purse, trying to back him off, and he's like, hey, look, your son owes us some money. But Lopez is like, wait, don't you have a car right now? Like, why do you even need an Uber or anything? And she's like, because I borrowed it to your brother, the pastor. And she's like, this son of a bitch. So she assumes that apparently, yeah, so he probably had a private loan from something, so they go to find him. They find him in his car, just contemplating life. Again, like, not really doing the best job of trying to hide himself. And he spills the beans of, like, you know, he needed some money. He invested in some bad stocks. So he took out some loans to pay the stocks, and then he had to owe the loan to pay off the loan. And he was so close, not really close. I think it was only $100,000 in, which I'm like, never, if you're a novice in the stock market, never invest thousands and thousands of your dollars or borrowed money into a risk. Yes, it is a risk. There is never a guaranteed thing of, like, you know, when it comes to gambling, but I'm like, you don't gamble away. Like, maybe gamble your own money, but don't gamble someone else's money because you also owe them the money. So, anyway, yeah, regardless of what it is, yeah, so he didn't do technically illegal in terms of the actual, you know, the actual assault, but he does reveal, like, yeah, this is the loan shark that I took the money out of. So they head over there, and the loan shark's like, I did nothing totally wrong. It was a perfectly legit transaction. He's like, okay, yeah, but your boy over here, who clearly has an injury, he assaulted my mom, so he's going to prison. And I just looked at the guy. It's like, why is it gotta be me? Like, why does he have to take the short end of the stick? But it's like, you know, and she just tells him like, don't mess with a Lopez woman. Like, don't mess with us, you know, because you're gonna get the fangs if you do. I was trying to keep it the Halloween tradition, so I apologize there. So meanwhile, going back to the main case, so I want to say, yeah, Bradford and Ashley are having a moment in the bed before Bradford gets wheeled off the surgery. And, you know, Ashley's like pitching the idea, like, you know, maybe you could do some early retirement. Apparently, yeah, the police station does offer a pretty good retirement plan. We can go to like another country, start fresh with a whole new life. And Bradford's not against the idea, but he's not 100% into it. And, you know, it's like, you know what, we don't have to talk about it now. We could talk about it later. Focus on the surgery for now. So Bradford decides to take a little walk before his surgery. He runs into the killer. They have a brief tussle, but because Bradford's not 100% well with his back, he gets slammed to the wall and he ends up paralyzed. Gray tries to step in and help out as well, but his stomach also betrays him as well, so they were unable to stop him. Literally, two of the strongest people on the show, and they get taken down pretty easily. It's like, it's weird to see. It's very weird to see. Bradford's paralyzed. He has to go into surgery right now. Otherwise, he's going to stay paralyzed. So he's in on it. He also tells Gray before he goes not to tell Chen about it at all, because it's just going to worry her a lot while she's trying to serve as acting sergeant for now. Eventually, Nolan and Selena notices a cut alarm wire, so they follow suit. They fall into the basement / the garage area. They find another dead person, but however, he takes Selena hostage again. Like, Selena has not the best luck with these sort of situations. She is not. She's getting dragged away back to the front to the ambulance to basically for her to be his getaway driver and his caregiver for the time being while he has her gun. Nolan manages to follow them via her comms. She manages to turn it on loud volume so that, you know, they could be followed. They eventually head into the ambulance, and this guy's like, you know, okay, get some penicillin, get something in me to help with the pain, and then you're gonna drive me away, and then you're gonna take care of me for the rest of my life. Eventually, I'll probably kill you, but for now, you're just you're my hostage. She gives them the medication. She's about to start driving. Nolan manages to catch up with them. Celine manages to escape. And Nolan's about to ensue in a gunfight with him, even in the vehicle. However, Celine closes the door to let Nolan know that she switched out the vial for the pain relief with actually a sedative. So this guy's about to be passed out in a few seconds, which works. The power of magic and ESP somehow wins again. I really don't know how. I really don't know how they do it again. So that worked. He gets knocked out. So everyone's fine. Everyone's safe. That's all over, said and done with. I want to say, yeah, so by this point we head to the wrap-up period. Get 3 major things happen. 4 major things, mostly 5 major things. I'm already dying here, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a very long weekend for me, and I'm like, I'm losing my English again. I'm losing it. Gray feels back to normal. He heads back to the station where Lucy apparently did a really good job taking care of the calls and managing everything from the office. He's proud of her for doing so, and he lets her know that, like, yeah, Bradford had a complication. He's in surgery pretty early on a much more severe matter. So Lucy runs over to go check in on him. Bradford works up in the surgery. He's all good to go. He's fine. He'll be back to normal in a few days. However, Ashley is not. Apparently, Ashley was reminded of how many times her dad has had these sort of situation where, like, he was close to death, and she would be worried, like, if he would come out of it. She doesn't want to do that anymore. Unless Bradford was to retire at this moment, she wants to break up. Bradford refuses to retire, saying it's not his time yet. And she's like, I'm going to keep loving you, but I can't love you while you're constantly putting yourself in risk, in endangerment. And I can live with the fear of, like, is this the time where you just don't come back? And Bradford has a pretty funny line, even though it's kind of a morbid situation. He's like, I just came out of surgery. It's like, it's one of the worst times to break up with someone. Like, you don't break up with someone when they just came out of a life-threatening surgery. Like, brah, like, imagine Bradford's like, I believe in us. I want to be with you. He wakes up and he's like, I want to break up with you. It's like, what the fuck? That was like a big, like right turn there. But of course, the Chenford fans are happy. You know, but this is also a pretty natural way. It's understandable to why she wanted to end it. So that works out. So Bradford's left alone for a little bit before Chen shows up. She gets mad at him for, like, keeping this information from her while she was on duty. Bradford does have a point of, again, like, he was just trying to keep her focused on the task at hand so that Smithy doesn't destroy the station in one freaking evening. But Bradford doesn't tell her that he and Ashley broke up, so Chen decides to stay put and just, keep Bradford company, which, again, I know what they're trying to do. I know what they're trying to set up. It's sweet. It's somber. But we're going to move on from there. The Lopez's and Wesley head back to their house, have some pizza and some salad. Very weird combo, I know. Just like recapping the day. Again, they're not going to talk about the fact that literally the pastor Lopez literally destroyed his entire credibility with the community, as well as he has money in debt. But okay, we're just going to completely side wing it so that we can praise Wesley for, like, actually defending his brothers and, like, giving him the respect he deserves. Also, Lopez's mom gives her the validation moment of, like, even though it wasn't seen that I was really paying attention to you when you were growing up, it's because I know you were self-sufficient. You didn't even need my help a lot. Your brothers did, so I focused my effort on them. It wasn't because I didn't love you. You're my only daughter. Of course I love you, but you had that drive to just do things on your own that you didn't really need me at the end of the day, it's sweet. It's understandable, but it was also nice for, like, to have that understanding finally between them so that there isn't any sort of, like, underlying tension between them going forward, which I thought was pretty sweet. But last but not least, Nolan is finally getting the answers to the question of how the heck did you almost die from a halo jump? And Bailey fills it in. But in reality, all of her close death experiences does not compare to her recent one with wrestling, not because of her life, but because she was so worried if Nolan was ever going to come back home to her. And she knows, like, she can't live her life without him. That she doesn't know, like, with them both being in, like, the lines of duty of, like, you can literally die at any moment, that she actually is now worrying, like, will he actually come home to her? Which, of course, we know Nolan will always live. You ain't going to call off John Nolan anytime soon. That ain't going to happen. But she knows that there is a point where, like, she can't imagine her life without him. And you know where I'm going with this. And Bailey's like, and we could change that to make sure we always stay united. She proposes to Nolan. And Nolan says yes. And I was like, let's freaking go. That's what I'm talking about. Nolan got the one. He's the MVP. I was gonna say that goat meme, but I can't do it. Not yet. This is not the episode review for that. But yeah, they're engaged, and I was like, yay! I'm like, but are we gonna get a wedding every season? I mean, it kind of seems like that. Season 3 was Lopez and Wesley. Season 4 was Harper and her guy, and now season 5 is gonna be Nolan and Bailey, maybe? Question mark. You know what? I love weddings. I love a good wedding this time of year. Now people are going to speculate, no, next year's going to be Chen and Bradford's wedding. Like, brah. Just, If anything, I believe Gray and his wife getting renew your vows is more likely than that. I mean, I could be wrong. Like, timestamp this in 2024 where I'm proven wrong. I love to be proven wrong. I don't see it, but you know what? Let's see how it goes. But that ends this week's episode of The Rookie with an engagement, which I'm very, very happy for. Hashtag, that should be the true crossover event. That should be it. But will we actually get it? I don't know anymore. I really don't know. But I thought this episode was great. Definitely was just a very fun, simplistic episode of The Rookie, with some back pains, stomach pains, engagements, breakups, it's the general hospital of The Rookie episodes, ladies and gentlemen. And I loved every second of it. I really did. It was nice to go back into, like, that calm, serene, like, you got some tension, but you don't have to be grinding to the teeth. You still got those funny moments. You got Smithy thrown in there, Chen stepping up to the plate. It was all a great episode. Seeing the Lopez's was all very much fun. I hope we get to see them again, and I hope we get to see the fourth brother at some point in the future. And I'm excited. Nolan and Bailey are engaged. Bradford's broken up with, so like literally it's the polar opposite spectrum of the romantic sphere. But yeah, literally it's a time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. It's a time to be alive. That won't be the case next week though, with Halloween very, very much looming. But for me, I'm gonna give this episode 2 thumbs up. Again, I really loved it. It's another return to form for The Rookie after last week's spectacular. So can't wait for another Halloween special next week. But let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this week's episode of The Rookie? Let's have the conversation down below. Let's talk about it. And I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 5th season of The Rookie. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's the Two, besides our rookie episode reviews. We're currently doing the Rookie Feds episode reviews. We're currently doing DC Stargirl episode reviews. We're currently doing Walker episode review and Walker Independence episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes go live on cable TV or streaming platforms out there. If you want to know what we're doing normally, actually, I repeat that. If you don't care about the rookie, your luck. We'll be back next week with a Halloween special, another Halloween-themed episode. Will I dress up? Probably not, but you never know. Maybe this will be the episode review I do dress up for. We'll see how that goes. But again, this has been What's the Two from ActionX. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Ring that bell for notification when our next episode review is live. Please also like, favorite, share this review if you want to, as well as follow us on social media to stay up there with any sort of updates we may have for either of our channel. Ring the bell, like, favorite, share as always. But until we see each other again, for all you members of the Rookie Nation, I'll see y'all next week for the next episode review. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always, peace out.